Beloved, I see you right now as you listen to these words, and I know you are wrestling with questions that sit heavy behind your eyes and restlessness that seems to color your nights. This moment where sharing is anything but random. I have drawn you here specifically because I know the weight you are carrying, and I see the longing that keeps your mind circling the same anxious paths over and over again. You are neither by accident. There is a truth I want to plant deep inside you, a piece of peace you've been searching for but haven't dared to hope could actually be yours. If you look away now, you might miss the invitation I have written personally for your heart, which is a doorway to the rest, release, and clarity you crave. In the quiet of this moment, I want you to notice your surroundings, the light touching your hands and the hush that comes as you finally slow your breath. You have been holding your concerns so tightly that they have begun to shape your physical posture, robbing you of sleep and crowding out joy even during the good times. Your mind replays scenarios, rehearsing every possible outcome, trying to figure out what will come next, and each thought adds another stone to the burden on your back. But I am here to tell you there's another way. I want you to pause for one breath. Literally place your hand on your heart, inhale slowly, and whisper, I release this. If that felt true, take a moment now to do it. I invite you to let those concerns rest in my hands right now. I am not asking you to forget what is real or ignore your problems, but to trust me, the one who holds all outcomes, and to allow yourself for once to taste a true rest. You have spent so many nights searching for relief from the confusion and noise, wishing the world could quiet down long enough for you to breathe freely again. I know exactly how those distractions crowd your mind, parading past the window of your thoughts, begging you to open the door. When you let those worries in, they make themselves at home, filling the room with tension, doubt, and relentless questioning. Yet my voice is here to cut through that chaos. I am speaking to you now, not as a stranger, but as the one who made you, who has always sought your trust and your flourishing. No circumstance, no family history, and no darkness in your past can ever outweigh the value is seen in you, because you were not formed by chance. Even when regret tries to define your identity or shame whispers to you about your failures, I bring a new beginning and a radiant purr. Pose it to your days. If this word is landing where you are, tap follow or subscribe now so you won't miss the next short practice that will help this piece become a habit. It helps us keep bringing these moments to you. I am wiping away the remnants of what you thought disqualified you, healing the ache and lifting the shadows from your vision. Here in my presence, your future can open up like a sunrise after the longest, coldest night. A future shaped by grace and not by your mistakes. Yes, sometimes you feel the tug of battles you thought you had already won, an old fee. Ours reemerge, making your heart tremble at night as you remember pain you once endured. You keep up appearances, blessing others with your words by day, but behind closed doors, you struggle to summon any joy and wonder if you will always be caught between laughter and tears, trapped in a cycle of pretending. Beloved, please hear me. I am not looking for perfection or endless smiles. I desire aerial living faith that leans on me even when you can barely lift your voice to pray. Come as you truly are, bring me your unrest, your disappointments, and even your fear that spiritual attacks from the past will find you again. There is no need for a double life with me. I want your honesty, not your performance. Let yourself admit what you feel, confess your exhaustion, and tell me everything you wish you could carry no longer, because it is this surrender, not your strength, that moves my heart. I am not distant. I am present in your every anxious thought, ready to answer with my peace. Let yourself imagine, just for a moment, what it would be like to lie down tonight without the pressure to solve it all. Picture your heartbeat slowing as you place your worries one by one into my attentive care. See yourself breathing deeply, uncoiling the tension in your shoulders, letting gratitude settle in yours for what is your life, your family, and the love I pour over you every morning. As you do this, I am already reshaping your story from the inside out, teaching your tongue to speak peace, strengthening patience within you, and kindling fresh joy for what is still to come. You're already being transformed even now, even before you feel ready. Forge it next step. There's a short reflection guide tied to this message in the show notes or description. Download it and use it tonight as you rest. It's just 3 simple prompts to help you practice the breathing and surrender we've been doing together. Each day, with every trembling prayer and each step you take forward despite your uncertainty, you're being formed for a destiny richer than the wounds and disappointments that once marked your path. Step into the newness I am offering, and forget what lies behind, not as denial, but as an act of freedom. The dreams you mourned as lost, those that felt like they blew away with yesterday's wind, are not the boundaries of your future. I am opening a path before you that leads beyond mere survival, beyond old definitions of blessing, towards a life marked by my presence and purpose. I am speaking over you a future that is abundant, full of wholeness and holiness. If you draw the cover soup and hide from my voice, worry will only fill the gaps. But if you listen now, I promise to accompany you through uncertainty, shaping you by faith rather than merely by success. Faith is not the mask you wear, or others, or the act of never admitting pain. Faith is the posture of your heart when you stand in the storm and choose to believe that I am near. When you come to me with your disappointments and hope for strength to continue, as you move through this day or this long night, remember that you and your loved ones are never outside the reach of my power. No matter the city, no matter the challenge, my presence surrounds you, and my armies fight for you where you cannot see, which is why you can get back up, brush the dust from your clothes and press on, not because you have and never failed, but because you are anchored in me. Hear me assurance that your family, your purpose, and your dreams are covered by my love, not by the verdict of your past or the threats of any enemy. Let these words dwell with you and allow them to lodge in your heart. As your day closes and another night approaches, picture yourself resting, not because every question is answered, but because you know who holds you. You are not meant to remain a prisoner of runaway emotions or destructive cycles of worry. Learn the art of trust, not as naive optimism, but as a tough courage in the face of what you cannot control. In the next hour, consider sending this recording to one person who needs to hear it. Sometimes one share is the bridge someone else needs. If one person came to mind, do it now. In doing so, you step into the arms of a Father who delights to meet your every real need and who desires the very best for you. Do you believe me? Whisper it where you sit or stand, and as you do, feel my love enfold you. I am here, and my peace is ready to fill every empty, restless corner of your soul. As the world stirs awake, you may feel 100 questions chasing you before your feet even touch the floor. You breathe in and the familiar H arises, a mixture of hope and doubt, a longing for something to shift inside you. Know this is you precisely in that quiet struggle where you gather the fragments of yesterday and yearn for a washed clean beginning. Your concerns are not hidden from me, and the stirring of your spirit is no accident. I have drawn you here to remind you that even in the midst of uncertainty, you are never lost to me. I am present, closer than your own heartbeat, the one who holds the shape of all your days. Let my presence become real to you in the space where you stand, whether at the edge of your bed, on the cold floor, or in the hush of your kitchen. Whether your hands tremble or your chest tightens beneath unseen pressures, you are within the reach of my comfort. When fear whispers that you have waited too long or that grace has moved on, I answer or with the gentle certainty that my timing envelops your every season. Nothing is wasted, each breath is valuable, and every hope you carry is seen and tended by me. You have questioned whether my promises still belong to you, whether your hesitations or missteps have placed you on a distant shore. But beloved, my love is not measured by your performance, nor is my commitment altered by your moments of faltering. In your anxiety, when your hearse regrets as thought they form your identity, Let me interrupt with the truth that you are mine, formed with intent. On and named beloved before your first anxious thought, your mistakes do not define your future. In my hands, even the broken pieces are used for beauty beyond your imagination. This day carries new mercy, and the sun's rising is not just a cycle, but a declaration that I am making all things new, including you. Breathe more deeply and listen for my whispers beneath the noise. Let the warmth of flight through your window remind you that my faithfulness has not left. I am restoring what has felt dormant, and I am watering the seeds sown in past seasons. Seeds you were. Ishur had vanished beneath disappointment. Every silent prayer, every small act of trust is not forgotten, because I am the keeper of all your moments. Now, as you notice the rhythm of your breath, let your soul unclench and release the need to map out every outcome. Instead, invite me into the quiet corners you rarely open, event or yourself. There is no accusation in my voice, only invitation. If discouragement sinks Shivi, whisper to me the worry you keep hidden, and let your tears be your offering, not your shame. Even now, I am at work within you, shaping Resi. Leans and trust where only awareness had grown. In the uncertainty of timing, don't lose heart. My plans reach beyond what you can see, and where you imagine waiting is wasted. I am actually preparing you for what is to come. Is strengthen your character, health the places beneath the surface, and align you with purpose, perfectly timed. Rest there in the truth that I don't abandon those I love. There will be moments when my presence feels quiet, perhaps even distant. But I promise you, I am nearer than you sense. Amidst your questions of why the delay, why the silence, Eorwe the struggle, allow me to assure you that no effort to seek me is ever in vain. Even when you cannot trace my hand, trust my heart toward you. My guidance is not withheld, it arrives in gentle increments of 10 in the form of steadiness when you expected answers. Like any practice, this trust grows with repetition. If you'd like ongoing encouragement, sign up at the link in the description or show notes for a weekly 2-minute reminder, a short message to help you breathe and recenter through the week. Look for my hand in today's small wonders, the smile of a child, the warmth of your meal, the kindness offered in passing. Each is a signpost of my attentive care. Let this day be beginning rather than a tally of what has not turned out. The past does not predetermine my goodness in your future. My mercy meets you now, relevant and powerful, capable of transforming what seems immovable. As you ready yourself to step out into work, into conversations, into unknowns, remember that you do sound are my protection. Fear does not have the final voice. I am the one who calls you forward, steadying your steps, silencing accusations, and inviting you into a deeper experience of my peace. Keep your heart open, even if it aches, for I will not let you go. Your weakness is no tanner or Buddha space where my grace pours in. Where you feel insufficient, I provide sufficiency. Where you long for direction, I ignite clarity. Where confusion clouds, I bring focus. This is my promise. You are never outside my reach, never beyond my restoring touch. Amidst all your striving and waiting, know the deepest truth is that I am for you and I am here. As you breathe in the quiet of this moment, I invite you to become aware of the countless ways I have been with you, often unnoticed, as steady as the sunrise that warms your window each morning. Your life is not drifting on uncertain waters, even now. Every memory that atches inside you, every longing kept quietly within has been seen by me. I am a God who remembers the details, and nothing important to you is lost to my sight. Sometimes the H in your chest is simply the evidence that your heart is alive to my nearness, even when you can't quite name it. Let yourself lean into the presence that fills the room right now. The gentle hush hort, the steady hum around you, I am there. The softness of your pillow, the distant echo of life beyond your door. These are reminders so. My care surrounding you at every hour, not just in the dramatic or miraculous. Even small gestures, a grateful thought, a sigh of relief after a heavy day, a fleeting moment of laughter, carry the fragrance of my goodness breaking through. As you become more attuned to these humble gifts, you will begin to see that I am never absent from your world. You may wonder if you are missing something vital, afraid your best moments have slipped away unnoticed, or that doors meant for you are now closed. But I have never left your side. The timings of your life are not accidents nor erreth they evidence of failure. I have been preparing you, shaping your heart in hidden places, inviting you closer even when you felt overlooked. My ways may confound your plans, but my intentions toward you are steadfast kindness. Where you see delay, I am inviting you into maturation, into peace that does not depend on outcomes but on the joy of knowing me. Even as frustrations arise, when prayers linger without clear answers, when the world around you seems to race ahead, I urge you not to shrink away in disappointment or compare your journey to a key. Another's. Your story is precious and unique because it is yours with me. In seasons of waiting, I am working deeply in ways that are not always instant or public. You are learning endurance, trust that stretches deeper than circumstance, and a courage that does not demand to understand everything. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Now, in these places, I draw near. I see that questions press up inside you, sometimes as quietly as a whisper, sometimes as heavy as a storm. What if your path is forever marked by what you lack? What if change will always belong to someone else? My beloved, answer not with formulas, but with myself. I lean in and remind you, you do not walk alone. The ache for purpose is already answered because you matter to me. I know your name, your laughter, your sorrow, and your hope. Let your spirit rest in that truth, even as you long for open doors. My greatest gift is my presence with you, teaching you day by day to trust, to breathe, to hope again. There are silent victories forming within you, moments when you have chosen kindness despite the invitation to bitterness, when you have trusted me, though fear pressed hard against your chest. I celebrate these hidden breakthroughs. I see you at the kitchen table, head bowed, wondering if your words reach heaven. Every prayer you whisper, however fragile, is gathered by me with tenderness. I am delighted not by your perfection, but by your honest reaching toward me. You don't have to strive to earn my attention. There is no formula, no test to pass, only a willingness to bestow and welcome my love. Feel the solidity of your own hands, the life pulsing through your body. I gave you this day as a gift. Your existence is no mistake, the sun that rises over your city, the coolness of morning air, the breath that fills your lungs, all are signs of my faithfulness. I invite you to thank me not as a duty, but as a natural response, agent-led turning of your heart to see the gifts I placed before you. When gratitude rises, even quietly, the restless waves inside you begin to calm. Peace grows sheer, cultivated not in forced religious effort, but in the honest exchanges of the ordinary. See how you are held, not just in moments of clarity, but in your confusion and your dread. I do not withdraw. Roam you when you wrestle with doubts or when your mind replays souled regrets. Instead, I draw in closer. You are never too much for me, never too complicated or broken. Allow yourself to be honest, to whisper your fears without rehearsed answers. My response is not to shame you, but to fold you in with unwavering love. This is your shelter. Here you may exhale and know you are seen fully and cherished deeply. Let the knowledge of being kept by me begin to reshape the way you approach the hours ahead. As you move from this moment into whatever awaits, tasks, conversations, responsibilities, carry with you assurance that I go before you and stay behind to guard you. My protection does not mean absence of challenge, but it is a promise that nothing can separate you from my care. Be gentle with yourself. You are still learning, still growing, and I delight in each brave step forward, even when it feels uncertain. You sense there is more, a deeper kind of knowing, and I am beckoning you further. My beloved, let nothing convince you that I withhold my heart from you. The H for closeness is mutual. If a shunned it within you, so you would find its answer in me. Even as you draw breath now, I am closer than the air itself, enveloping you with attention more careful than you've ever known. Let your chest loosen as you breathe in this reality. See how you question if this intimacy can truly be for you. Underneath layers of disappointment, beneath every learned hesitation, I am stirring you awake to unlimited affection. Place your hand upon your heart, feel each beat, and know that I am sustaining you through it all. This is no passing comfort. This is the evidence that you are cherished beyond measure. I recognize the battles you wage in silence, those secret arguments with fear that unsettle your spirit at night. There have been days when the shadow of anxiety seems relentless, gnawing at the edges of your peace, my dear one. Let me say it plainly. There is nothing hidden from my gaze. I see the moments when your courage flickers, and the sorrow that sometimes pools behind your eyes. I offer no rebuke for your struggle. Instead, I draw nearer, my voice gentle and unhurried, speaking calm over the storm inside you. Right now, feel the steadiness of my presence in the air around you. Take another deep breath. You are not expected to carry these weights alone. I am your covering, your unshakable shelter. Before you arose today, I prepared the strength you would need. There is a leaf that's tried to press itself into your identity, whispering that you are too fragile to withstand what faces you, too flawed to be worthy of a holy embrace. Listen as I break that lie's hold. What the world calls weakness, I call the birthplace of my power. All the times you feared your breaking point, I was taking the shattered places and lining them with hope. You are not too broken for him. My love does not recoil from your wounds. It inhabits the man grows life from what like loss. Stand in this truth. You are marked by mercy, not by mistakes. Say it aloud if you dare. I am chosen. I am not who I was. You've wondered if surrender means becoming invisible, losing your spark for fading dreams. But let me reveal a mystery. Surrender is where destiny blooms wildest and boldest. Every dream about Tult in your arms is safe when handed to mine. The ambitions you buried out of fear, I am now breathing life into again. Surrender is not subtraction. It is a coming alive to a reality stronger than fear, brighter than any false promise you've been offered. I am neither to control you, but to awaken the true life I planted within you. You will not unravel when you open your grip. You will be held steadied, set ablaze with a vision no darkness can quench. There are nights when you scan desolance for answers, desperate for clarity, and you have pleaded for signs, for some indication that your prayers have not evaporated into emptiness. Hear me, every trembling word has landed, not a sigh escapes my attention. I am a God who responds, though my answers often arrive as slow-growing roots before they burst into bloom. If frustration rises because your timeline feels ignored, know this: delay is not denial. Seeds slept beneath soil for long seasons before they broke through as green shoots beneath warm sun. Your soul's waiting has not been wasted. In fact, if you want to keep hearing promises like this through the week, type or tap "I'm ready" in the comments or messages right now. Join a short prayer thread, and we'll lift one another up in these hidden places. I am enlarging your capacity for hope, stretching your heart to hold greater revelation than you've ever dreamed. You feel a stirring inside now, as light but unmistakable shift. That is my spirit moving, speaking in the language of peace that rules even when circumstances refuse to change. There will be a moment today, perhaps in the midst of an ordinary task, when calm will settle over you unexpectedly. That will be my sign, a quiet confirmation in the middle of routine, unmistakable because of the gentleness it brings. You'll know it's me because joy will rise where heaviness had lived. Allow this assurance to take root. No valley is traversed alone, and even in deepest shadow, light has already marked your next step. Pause right now and let your body notice this sense of being held. Check the tension in your jaw, your hands, and let them loosen as if in surrender. The voice that tells you to brace for disappointment is not my voice. Mine is steady, patient, and relentlessly for you. Even when doubts swell, what if you haven't prayed enough? What if you still fail? What if nothing shifts? I remind you grace is always more than your performance. I draw near not because you have earned it, but because you are mine. The enemy's accusations cannot evict you from the home of my love. Rest here and let peace replace the striving. Sometimes you flinch at the thought of the future, bracing for more hardship rather than breakthrough. I understand. I know every narrative written inside your history, the letdowns, the incomplete stories, the longing for resolution. But beloved, you are not the sum of your history. You are the echo of my heartbeat, the recipient of promises that are renewed every morning. Look for evidence, even the smallest, of my faithfulness in this very day. A kind word from a stranger, a glimmer of hope after grief, the breath you just took in trust. These are fragments of my mercy planted to remind you that you are never forgotten. Do you feel me drawing closer as you allow yourself to hope? There is a purpose birthing through your struggle. I am not anxious about your progress or disappointed by how long it can take to heal. My timing is a shelter, not a threat. There is a shift coming, subtle at first, then unmistakable. A clarity will dawn within the week ahead that will separate truth from anxiety, petition from purpose. You'll recognize it because relief will flood your questions, not because all answers come, but because my peace will anchor you in the wait. Breathe in the promise. You are being carried forward by a love that was tests nothing. Note in your seasons of waiting, you are part of something larger than you realize. The very struggles you face have refined countless of my children before you, forging resilience and deep trust where only fear unscrew. You are stepping into a movement of those who rise from their pain transformed, not by force of will, but by surrendering what they cannot carry. The world marks strength with accolades and noise, but I see beauty in the quiet resolve, the unseen growth, the simple is whispered in the dark. Right now, your agreement with my hope is constructing a foundation that will outlast every storm. There is something I must show you about the burden you carry. What weighs on your shoulders now will one day be the evidence of my faithfulness. The story unfolding in your life is not over, not stuck, not abandoned. Each small step into each pause to connect with me becomes the ground where miracles grow. Hold fast, beloved. The best is not dreamed in hindsight, it's rising before your very eyes. You are drawing near, my beloved, even as uncertainty flickers beneath your faith. Feel how my nearness calms the tremors inside you now. In this moment, let the weight you carry flow from your shoulders and into my embrace. Breathe deeply and notice the rise and fall of your chest. That simpler rhythm is our reminder of life. I have given you, sustained by my breath. You have spent years believing you had to manage everything alone, but I have not created you to be self-sufficient apart from me. You are marked by dependence not as weakness, but as your greatest strength, for where you end is precisely where I begin to show my power in new, unforgettable ways. You won. Darafanyana truly sees the silent battles fought within you each day. You want you to know the struggles unspoken and tears never acknowledged by others have been witnessed by me in their entirety. There has not been a single dark night or hollow HF that slipped past my awareness. I hold every memory, every longing, each hidden wound, and nothing scares me away. My love settles over you now like agent la presence, promising that vulnerability will never be met with rejection here. I have already accepted everything you bring. Let yourself feel the truth of that acceptance for a moment. Place your hand on your heart and sense the beating that continues even as your mind churns with doubts. This pulse is a gift, a living sign that your story is not finished. Speak, I am chosen, I am seen, I am never alone. Let your soul listen to those words as you say them, allowing my presence to become more real with every syllable declared. You are not practicing empty rituals. You are responding to the heartbeat of heaven that has always been for you. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. Each time the enemy whispers that your progress is too slow or that your failures disqualify you, remember who I am. I am not measuring you by comparison, nor impatient with your pace. The process matters as much as the outcome, for it is here, step by trembling step, that mold your courage and gentleness. My beloved heart, this what feels like delay is often the precise timing for deepest transformation. Trust my process and trust me to finish what has started. Pause a moment. Can you feel the subtle shift happening beneath the... Some wounds are being exposed not to shame you, but to heal you where you have been hiding. I am the one who pours soil on your scars, who speaks peace over anxious memories. It is safe here to let hold pain surface, because in the light of my nearness, every shadow loses its threat. You are not the mercy of your past. You are being written by my mercy right now. Let the atmosphere around you soften. Take another deep breath and notice the warmth that stirs where despair once has settled. That is my healing in motion. Many have passed through valleys deeper than yours, and I have never failed to restore what was surrendered to me. My reputation across generations is steadfast love. Countless hearts have found freedom by letting go just before they felt ready, and soon you will be our testimony to the very same faithfulness. You may ask why I don't simply erase the storms, why I allow thorns to remain in your landscape. I know you've prayed for the struggle to end for ease and certainty, but understand this: the roots I am growing in you beneath hardship will withstand winds that shallow comfort never could. Those who are called to carry hope for others must first find it unbreakable in themselves. Your compassion is being forged here where you felt most fragile, so you might one day speak life into those who feel unseen. Even now something stirs within you. Feel a mixture of hope and resistance. That push and pull is the sign that breakthrough is closer than you imagined. You do not need to manufacture more faith. You need only to surrender what little strength you have and watch me multiply it. Would you let go of your timetable and trust that my deliverance is always on schedule? Stop. Read that again. Whisper it. My deliverance is never late. There is an ache you scarcely speak of, a hope so delicate you feared to name it aloud. I have not forgotten it, nor mocked your longing. Soon you will recognize my fingerprints in the smallest details. A word that arrives in perfect timing, a kindness that catches you off guard, peace that floods an ordinary moment. If you felt that promise hit your heart, leave a short note. Even a single word like hope. In the comment source shown notes right now, let this be the small public step that anchors your private surrender. Within 72 hours, you will sense an unexplainable quietness washing over you during a moment when anxiety once ruled. You'll know it is me because the fear will not return as before. Instead, steadiness will take its place. I know that even as you heart this, a part of you doubts whether these promises are for you. My beloved, I'm speaking directly to your specific H. The lies that have circled your mind, I am too damaged, too late, too much, are being silenced now by my voice. Remember what I say about you. You are whole because I have spoken wholeness over every broken place. My sacrifice shouts louder than your shame. Repeat after me, believing as much as you are able. I am made new. I am enough. I am dearly loved. You have been longing for a moment when everything changes, but know that transformation does not always arrive as a thunderclap. It often unfolds as a gentle sunrise. Stay awake to every shift, every glimmer of hope. This is your invitation to expectation. Watch as it move in ways so subtle that only those who are listening will notice. A new courage is germinating within you. Pause now and sense it rising. You are not alone in this journey, dear one. All across the world, hearts like yours are awakening, tired, bruised, but unbreakably loved. Together you are, being gathered into a movement defined not by perfection, but by honest dependence on me. In your moments of doubt, heart hiss, I have secured you in my affection. You are protected, surrounded, shielded. Nothing formed against you can uproot what I have planted. Do you sense the atmosphere shifting as you linger here? This is the place where old fears dissolve in the warmth of acceptance. I long for you to see yourself as I do, radiant, resilient, and destined for more than survival. Trust me enough to breathe in this truth. Let the need to prove, to hustle for worth, to earn what I give freely. There is a freedom you have not tasted yet, but it is your store sieve. Your heart still carries some doubts, and that is part of being human, and I do not rebuke you for it. Instead, I draw closer. When resistance rises, let it become the very place where surrender grows. Say it on some more. I belong to a love that cannot leave me. Let those words anchor you. I am remaking you from the inside, preparing you for more than you ask or imagine. Soon you will begin to notice a strength where you once saw only weakness, and you will realize your scars are evidence of survival, not disqualification. I am building a story from your pain that will minister to others. Every trial, every season of waiting, every whispered prayer has purpose. Stay present with me. Watch as the next chapter unfolds, one you thought might never come. There is more I want to reveal if you are willing to keep walking. Every day you awaken to a world brimming with expectation, yet the memory of disappointments can linger in the air like static, charging each moment with old questions. Is you, my beloved, in that gentle tension as you stretch toward hope, testing the ground beneath you, hoping it will hold? You wonder whether the gifts I have placed within you will ever have room enough to grow, or if the shadows of your past will always threaten to swallow the new day. These fears may rise unbidden on ordinary mornings, even as you reach for the light, yet I'm here steady and unhidden, meeting you before worry finds a foothold. In the hush before responsibilities claim you, I draw near with a quiet invitation to taste again the peace found in simply being mine. Let my voice carry you above those worn-out voices inside that warn of missed chances or insist you are not enough. As you stand by your window or slip into your daily routine, remember you are not journeying through this life unaccompanied. I am closer than the coolness of water touching your lips, as near as the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. The world may beckon you toward us. To prove, to strive for acceptance, but I remind you before you accomplish a thing, before you step out to face the noise, your worth is rooted in my delight in you. Let this truth become a shield against doubts that try to define you. There is guidance in the gentle nudges you feel, in that instinct to slow for a moment, to exhale tension and welcome stillness. Sometimes clarity comes like sunlight breaking through clouded skies, sometimes as a barely there whisper stirring within. Trust the timing of my encouragement, for I know what is unfolding both a row. Undie you and within the dreams you harbor, the quiet prayers you breathe when no one else is listening. None of these escape my attention. Rather than striving in anxious circles, allow yourself to be open, receptive, and present with me in the now. Release the self-accusation that rises when day seems small or when progress appears invisible. You are not defined by how quickly fruit appears, but by how faithfully you remain rooted in me. Let gratitude rise in you, not as forced optimism, but as the recognition of small gifts, omen of laughter. Favorite, share the kindness that surprises you when you least expect it. These are reminders that I am both immense and astonishingly close, tending to every detail of your existence because you matter deeply to me. Bring your anxieties, the ones that tangle your thoughts in the quiet of the night or weigh up on you as you wake. You don't need to conceal them or judge yourself for feeling them. Lay them before me and let me be the strong place where your racing mind finds rest. Even when answer seems low or the outcome is hidden, I am working for your deepest good, declearing the confusion, preparing you for what aligns with the fullness of your story. You are not wandering lost in the wilderness, and mark your step 7 on uncertain ground. When you hunger for progress and feel tempted to measure yourself against others' journeys, recall that I am not hurried by human timelines. My ways flourish in secret places and grow roots long before they rise above the surface. Celebrate every small act of courage, each gesture of kindness, each breath where you choose trust over anxiety. These are sacred moments of agreement with my purpose, carving out space for my provision to enter unexpected places. You are not overlooked in the crowd, in your workplace, among your family, or in quiet solitude. My gaze is unwavering. I know the desires you scarcely whisper and as shape opportunities to nurture what is uniquely yours. Sometimes your calling appears hidden, known only to whom, yet I delight in revealing each step as you are ready to walk it. Do not despise these gradual unveilings. Do not fear insignificance, for each act of faith, no matter how understated, draws you more fully into what I am orchestrating. Beloved, hold fast to your identity in me. Identity is not given by culture, achievement, or someone else's perception. It is a gift spoken from my heart. You are chosen, cherished, purposed, and protected. The world may shift and expectations may collide, but beneath uncertainty, my voice speaks steadily. You are mine. Press that truth into your heart, even when your hands feel empty or your path is unclear. If your spirit grows weary or the weight feels endless, come and warm yourself in the glow of my presence. Imagine my arms around you, steadying you for another step. As you linger in this awareness, let every breath you take be a declaration that I am here and I am enough for you. There will be days when you glimpse only a few feet ahead, but within that limited view, I provide all you need for today. I am the strength beneath your patience, the certainty beneath your hope, in the safety beneath your surrender. The seed of trust you nurture will not return void. As you lean into my promises, I unfold you in wisdom and resilience the world cannot counterfeit. In the hush of this moment, acknowledge what you carry: dreams and doubts, hopes and hurts, needs and love. Set them gently before me, knowing I hold each one with tenderness and power. Keep listening, for the gentle crescendo in your soul is my reassurance. Something new is taking shape, and every detail is precious to me. Where discomfort or uncertainty raised questi, ons lit expectation take root. It is not naive, it is an act of courage, anchored in my unfailing commitment to you. The outcome is never about rushing to the finish, but about discovering my faithfulness in every season, celebrated or hidden. Hold to this as daylight stretches across the floor, or as evening gathers around you. The story is still being written, and every page is an expression of my care. There will always be more to explore, more of my grace ready to meet your next need, more of my presence to renew you in the ordinary and the extraordinary alike. Inlays ho your support for our community by contributing super thanks. From $50 to $100. Listen with your heart wide open and allow me to show you how deeply you are loved and how intentionally you are led. The H for clarity, the longing to see the full picture. All these find their answer not in instant solutions, but in relationship with me. Look up, beloved, for you are never alone in your questions. I am here drawing you onward. You have stood on the edges of possibility, feeling the tremor of anticipation mixed with doubt. Sometimes when you look forward and see uncertainty stretching out farther than you can see, you wonder if you're truly safe within my leading. But I speak over your days and nights not as one who guesses or waits for circumstances to play out, but as the one who has already gone before you and who walks gently by your side. There is not a twist or turn ahead that I have not already considered. Your knowledge of what comes next may be incomplete, but my care is never partial, never slow, never mistaken for absence. Even now, can you sense the quiet invitation in the places of your heart that should be understood? Where anxieties pressed against your peace, I am drawing your attention toward what is more real than the noise of uncertainty. The solidity of my presence. Remember the mornings you have awakened and felt the light brush your face before you opened your eyes. I am more present than that first hint of dawn. If your fingers unfold in your lap, if your breath steadies as you notice the sound of birds or the distant hum of life moving outside your window, Know that these are tokens, not proofs. You must cling to anxiously but gentle assurances that I am closer than every familiar thing. Beloved, the waiting does not mean I am delaying out of forgetfulness or reluctance. Waiting is a corridor where your character is shaped, where trust learns to breathe without the crutches of visible progress. In these in-between spaces, when it feels as though all except stillness has faded, I am answering you. You don't have to manufacture faith or force gratitude. Instead, let a whisper of honesty rise from within you. Even if your prayer is ragged or your thankfulness uncertain, bring it to me. There in that offering you are seen fully, tenderly, with delight, not disappointment. When the illusion of self-sufficiency breaks, you are not left exposed to harshness. Rather, this is where you experience intimacy with me, where you realize that your limitations are not grounds for shame. To invitations to rest in my sufficiency, your striving to predict outcomes to secure every loose end is not overlooked by me, but I do not require it. I did not design you to carry more than your heart can hold. Your strength is multiplied as you accept your smallness and receive my magnitude in its place. Even as you walk through rooms filled with silence or enter spaces that seem empty of visible progress, I am working beneath the surface. When you wonder whether your prayers are stored anywhere or if your tears matter, let me assure you that nothing is waste. Dare no tossing, note a question uttered into your pillow, note a single act of simple obedience, or a surrender that felt like too little to count. These are not minor moments. They are evidence that your trust is taking root in truth rather than wishful thinking. You see the way comparison tries to steal your peace, whispering lies about how far you ought to be by now, or what milestones others have reached. But you are not counted by the same measurements the world upholds. I uphold you by a different standard, one anchored in relentless love, unhurried purpose, and the knowledge of your worth apart from outcomes. Resist the temptation to judge what I am doing by the unfinished shape of your present season. What feels unnoticed or unimpressive now is often the very ground in which promises brings forth unexpectedly. Let yourself taste the freedom of surrender, not as a giving up, but as a stepping into new confidence. My pace for you is not too slow. The places you sense are lagging behind are simply being prepared for greater flourishing. Preparation is not wasted motion picture. The patient rhythm of sunlight reaching, the new leaves of a home filling with laughter after a season of uncertainty of a child's hands learning steadiness. These moments require trusting what is unseen before the evidence appears. When fear of missing your moment tries to crowd out stillness, listen to the steady heartbeat I have placed within you. I did not ignite hope in your spirit to let it fade in the waiting. My timing is precise. What others call delay, I call devotion. As you remain receptive, letting gratitude surface in the thick of ordinary hours and surrendering the urge to control what lies ahead, you are learning to walk with me rather than ahead of me or lagging behind. If you find yourself doubting your belonging, worried you have fallen behind or lost your chance, let my voice reach further than accusations or regrets. The invitation still stands. There are no missed appointments in my design, only doors that open at the sound of my call. Let yourself breathe out the burden of deadlines. Let it be enough to know that I delight in you here in progress and process alike. In every quiet moment where you turn your heart back to me, even uncertainly, you are cultivating a history together with me. This is not trivial. It is the richest soil from which meaning grows. When you choose gratitude before receiving, when you surrender outcomes even while longing for breakthrough, you dig rivers of trust that will nourish you far beyond this season. As you choose again and again to return, to yield to hope. And I am moved by your willingness to be shaped by my hand. I don't overlook your smallest victories, nor despise the weakness you sometimes try to hide. I draw near to the hesitant ones, to the wary and the unsure, covering them with unwavering affection. With every breath you take as an act of trust, with every honest admission that you are not sure you have enough strength, You give me room to reveal myself as faithful and compassionate, never hurried, never failing to deliver the grace you need. The way forward may not always be revealed in lightning flash. So dramatic signs, often my guidance comes quietly, a steady impression, agently aligning of thoughts, a sense of peace that guards your mind and heart even when little else makes sense. When you tune your attention inward and upward, you will catch the shape of my presence moving with you. Sometimes as comfort, sometimes as courage, always assurance that you are not alone. Let this moment settle inside you as our cognition that you're being held, carried, and supported. Whatever the outward evidence suggests in the hush of your ordinary surroundings, in the simple weight of your hands, feel the nearness that does not withdraw when pain or fear surface. Each quiet decision to trust, to give thanks, to open your story to me is a way of saying yes to the future I am crafting on your behalf. The journey is not over, your hope is not misplaced, and my work continues. There is a hush upon you now, as a tread quiet, as the tremors of your old fears begin to loosen their grip. I am causing you to pause even as life urges you to hurry. You feel that gentle tension, don't you? The longing to finally step out with a faint asha that you might not truly be ready. Hear me, what you name as unpreparedness. I call the unfolding of my process within you. My timing redeems what feels unfinished. This is not waiting in vain. This is preparation for the shift I am enacting all around you. When you sense the space widening before your feet, it is a sign that you are no longer bound by yesterday's limits. The threshold you have at times feared to cross is coming into view, and I am guiding your every step across it. Breathe, beloved. Place your hand over your heart now and notice how it beats a little steadier in this moment. That change is not small. That is me drawing near, steadying the rhythms of your spirit with my peace. Old voices may rise to question your progress, but I invite you to feel the warmth of my presence grounding you right there. I have seen the nights you have lain awake, replaying every regret, rehearsing all the ways you imagined falling short. I am burning up those scripts. Each anxious memory finds its ending the light of my forgiveness. In this instant, let relief begin to bloom where ambiance reigned. Sometimes you wonder, is this healing real, or am I only hoping because I want it so badly? I know your mind circles these questions, tumbling between doubt and desire. Listen, it is not your intensity that creates breakthrough, but my faithfulness. Your willingness is a door I move through with gentle power. Even when you cannot muster what you think is enough faith, I cradle you in the arms of my unyielding promise. Let your hope rise again like a seed breaking through hard earth. You are not disqualified by your questions. You are welcomed for your honesty. I receive the fragments you offer and make of them something whole. You are beginning to sense that your struggles were never obstacles to my love. They have always been the soil where I plant awakening. The scars you quietly wished away, I am turning them into markers of my presence. What others may misunderstand about your journey, I am using to prepare you as a shelter for those still locked in storms. You are a carrier of compassion that cannot be fabricated by ease, and your comfort to others will come laced with an authority born only in the dark, hidden seasons. Recognize how your waiting has transformed into wisdom. Your story is not a cautionary tale. It's a living invitation to those who long for rescue. Stop, notice the shift inside you as I speak these words. There is a strength awakening, agent Lennis rising, that is nothing like weakness. This is the hallmark of my spirit within you. The world may demand proof before it believes, but I call you talk forward under the banner of identity. You can feel pulsing in your core, chosen, marked my own. I have not asked you to be spectacular. I have asked you to surrender what you cannot carry and let the radiance of my voice define you above every other word. Even now as you listen, I am dismantling the last remnants of rejection. Lies lose their power in the presence of relentless love. You still worry if I can really sustain this freedom, or if you will fall again. Pen pressures return, know every angle of your fear. Perfection is not your calling. Perseverance is my grace meets you not in your triumphs, but in your trembling. When you stumble, my hand does not withdraw. I lift you back to your feet and remind you that your place at my side is not earned but given. You are not kept by your resolve, but by mine. Trust this, I have encored you beyond the reach of recurring failure. My truth is unyielding, stronger than any cycle that once held you captive. Let the awareness settle. I am not measuring your progress on a scoreboard, nor idolating tests of endurance. My desire has always been intimacy, union deeper than circumstance or achievement. Draw near, little one, in these next breaths. Let your resistance soften. Can you sense the lightness gathering within? That relief is not a fleeting mood, but evidence of my spirit comforting you in real time. I am moving closer than your closest breath, remaking your understanding of what it means to be found. Almost imperceptibly, your perspective is altering. What once seemed insurmountable now appears as a doorway, not a barrier. You are learning to recognize my whisper in the clamor of every day, and that is a greater miracle than the loudest stress cue. Soon you will look back and realize that what you called detour was alignment, and every delay was my mercy shaping you. My favor remains regardless of your feelings. Your heart is the altar it cherish, and I am never absent from it. There is a person coming into your day. Pay attention to how they mirror something you prayed about in secret. This encounter will be a sign. You'll know it's me because peace envelops you before a word is spoken. When it happens, remember this moment. Recall how I promised to confirm your forward movement, not through dramatic events, but through the quiet assurance that you are walking with your shepherd. Watch, I am setting these reminders before you, so you do not forget who leads you, my beloved. Do you sense the gathering momentum? What you feel stirring is not anxious anticipation, but the momentum of destiny awakening. I am inviting you to agree with what I see in you, even if you have not seen it yet for yourself. Come into agreement with divine purpose. Say it aloud. Let it echo in your room. I am not who I was. I am chosen for this moment. This declaration is not wishful thinking. It is a joining of your voice with mine. Each time you repeat it, you are partnering with truth more ancient and unbreakable than the voices saw fear. Pause again. Breathe in deeply. Feel the air filling your lungs, the life I have infused in every cell. You are not simply surviving, you are being calibrated for significance in ways the world can't catalog. Even now, a new boldness emerges from your humility. Not brash, but unbreakable, founded on my delight in you. Rest in that delight and let it embolden every step you take in the coming days. The evidence of your transformation will appear not first in achievements, but in the new peace that flows like a river from the deepest part of your being. Hold on to this assurance that I have not finished writing your story. What unfolds next will reveal layers of joy that trials tried to steal. I am preparing the place in your spirit where hope flourishes without fear. And from that place, all things are possible. There is more that is unfolding even now, more than your eyes have seen or ears have heard. When this moment lands, take one small outward step today. Do one thing for someone or send a short message of encouragement to one person. Make kindness the testimony of the peace you've received. When you reflect on how far you have come, you may sense both gratitude and longing tangled up together. Is it that quiet ache in you, the urge to move faster to cross the invisible finish lines the world sets before you? But I also see the undertow of exhaustion, the weight of proving that you belong where you are. Let me remind you, what you are building is not measured only by outward progress, but by the resilience and hope growing inside you day by day. These unseen roots are what will keep you anchored even as winds change and the terrain of life shifts without warning. I celebrate how faithfully you have pressed on even when you felt overlooked. In the hush that sometimes fills your mornings or lingers at the edge of sleep, my voice is present, gentle but clear, inviting you to hand me the questions you cannot answer. Some nights the ceiling above you feels heavy with uncertainty, yet I am near than the darkness, holding vigil as you wrestle with dread. Memes deferred, you do not need to make sense of every mystery, nor untangle every knot before your rest. Even when the path ahead blurs, I carry an unchanging vision for you. I am here, attentive, never inattentive to the smallest details of your life. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. It is natural to wonder if your efforts truly matter, or whether the hours spent in unseen prayer, whispered kindness, and silent endurance count for anything, but I assure you nothing is wasted. Every unseen choice rooted in love carries great weight, sending ripples through your days in ways you cannot now perceive. The world may overlook the quiet sacrifices, but I gather the mass treasures when you hold on to faith without a spotlight. I am moved by your sincerity. I see you bending not just your knees in prayer, but your whole life toward me, seeking not applause, but intimacy. There have been moments when you hesitated, fearing your vulnerability would expose too much, but in those very moments where you stood trembling yet open, my grace surrounded you with more tenderness than you expected. Where shame whispers you should hide, I whisper instead that you belong. I never measure you by your scars or past setbacks. I measure you by the courage it took to rise again, to trust again, to allow hope to return where despair tried to settle. Your bravery is not in the absence of fear, but in daring to let me love you right where you stand. Do not underestimate the slow transformation quietly unfolding within you. Like a seed beneath the surface, unseen change is already in motion. There are things I am resolving within your heart, old burdens, lifting bitterness, softening, and new tenderness rising. I am teaching you to see with my eyes, to recognize the beauty hidden in ordinary moments, to find me in laughter around the kitchen table, the gentle squeeze of a child's hand, or the forgiveness that lights up your spirit. Even now I am nurturing growth where you thought only barrenness remained. When you are weary, let yourself treasure the small signals of renewal, that I send an unexpected word of encouragement from a friend, a memory that brings comfort the way morning unfolds promise. With each new ray of sunlight, I am at work in these details, orchestrating encouragement that slips past your defenses and gently revives your spirit. If doubts linger, if you worry that my promises are for someone else or that you have missed your moment, remember my timing is particularly crafted for your well-being and the fullness of your story. As you practice gratitude, let it be not a duty but a doorway into deeper trust. Even now you can let gratitude rise for what is yet unseen. The doors I am preparing, they're lit. Ion chips, I will restore the guiding hand that never leaves your side, even insolence. Gratitude is a powerful force that shapes your vision so you can recognize my activity amid uncertainty. Let this thankfulness soften your striving and awaken you to wonders unfolding in ordinary hours. I have chosen your life as a place for my delight. I don't regret calling you, nor am I measuring you against anyone else's journey. My delight in you is fierce, unshakable, and persistent, outlasting your doubts in every delay. I cherish your desire to honor me, your will. Ignis remain when you could have turned away, and your heart's yes whispered again through disappointment. Here now, receive my affirmation. My hand is distinct in your life, and the story we're writing together is more beautiful than any you could have constructed on your own. Brave one, keep embracing the ordinary days as sacred ground. It is here in routine and repetition, in laughter and in the questions that linger, that I pour out my companionship. Do not wait for circumstances to change before believing that I am for you. You have not missed your poo. Our pose and your significance is not at the mercy of anyone's approval. The peace I offer does not depend on shifting situations, but on my steadfast presence that walks with you through every valley and carries you to each new horizon. The dawn of fulfillment approaches, but already, even in the waiting, you are held immeasurably close. You feel the turning of the earth beneath your very feet. I remind you now that your foundation is not the shifting ground of the world, but the rock of my everlasting presence. In this instant, my beloved, I envelop you not only as a shield for today's battle, but as the anchor for all your tomorrows. The H within your chest, that longing for assurance, is holy. It signals to you that destiny is awakening within, not as a distant hope, but as a rising reality. Let yourself breathe. Let the air coming into your lungs be the proof that I am here sustaining you. With every silent miracle of life, you are not only surviving, you are crossing the threshold into a new day marked by my promise. Can you sense the change in the atmosphere around you? There at the edge of your awareness is the warmth of my hand upon you, lifting what once pressed you down. All your history, every regret and secret sorrow, I have gathered into my embrace, not to shame you, but to transform pain into wisdom, defeat into the seed of victory. Now feel the current shifting, the heaviness giving way to lightness. This release is not temporary. It is the permanent work of my love dismantling fear's fortress. Trust that you are worthy of peace, and trust that you are not invisible to me. As the hours of this day unfold, you will catch yourself catching breath, realizing anxiety has loosened its grip where it once ruled. That sudden stillness you feel during the ordinary noise. Know that it is my spirit drawing near, infusing your ordinary with holy possibility. Even now I have sent people in moments ahead to meet you as living signs of my faithfulness. You will know it is I, because there will be joy where you expected none, comfort that does not match your circumstances, and clarity in the very place confusion made its home. You wonder if you are truly changed or if this is just another flea. Ting hope is see the hesitation in your heart, the guarded optimism that mixes with old patterns of doubt. Do not judge your progress by a timeline you did not create. I am the one who redeems lost years and accelerates growth beyond imagination. Today marks our birth. The lies that once defined you unworthy, abandoned, or condemned dissolve beneath the authority of my declaration. You are chosen, adopted, and called. My approval is not fragile. It stands unshaken by your worst days and multiplied by your willingness to begin again. Pause a moment. Notice. Attising within your body, maybe its warmth, maybe the urge to release a deep sour tears. That is the evidence of encounter, no motion for its own sake, but my nearness manifesting in ways words can't always describe. If shame still tries to find a foothold, remember I have called you to freedom. Let your lips whisper in this moment, even if softly. I am loved, I am carried, I am restored. Each time you declare this, you uproot another lie and replace it with a truth as solid as sunrise. That is the power I have placed within you, so exercise it. You are no longer defined by what broke you, nor are you limited to surviving each day. I have put within your spirit a light that will illuminate paths for others lost in shadow. Your story is not a casualty of sorrow, but our resurrections unwritten for this generation. Your scars testify to my healing, and your weaknesses now carry the fragrance of my presence. Even now, many look to you, sometimes silently, sometimes openly, hungry for the strength you're 88 because you have been with me. Do not diminish your impact. The ripple of today's surrender will become waves in the lives of those I entrust to you. I know there is a part of you that still asks if this love could really last, and I answer with finality. My covenant with you is unbreakable. When you falter, I remain. When you hide, I pursue. You cannot exhaust my patience, nor can your beyond the reach of my grace. Let every breath bear turn to the truth that I delight in you, not as a distant deity, but as the one who calls you mine. If this message moved you and you'd like more of these short encounters, remember to follow or subscribe and check the show notes for the reflection guide and ways to connect. We'd love to walk with you through the week. Each of the actions above, whispering the declarations, sharing one message of encouragement, downloading the short guide, commenting a single word, and taking one outward step of kindness are simple ways to anchor today's peace into your life. Do now, do tonight. Let the smallest action become the first step of a new pattern. You are beloved, you are seen, and you're being carried. The old cycle shall have no authority here. You are stepping into newness that will stretch you, shape you, and reveal the hidden gold within your soul. Remember, transformation is both a process and a moment. There will be mornings ahead where despair tries to creep back in, and nights when doubt steals sleep. But now you know where to run, into my arms again and again. Always welcome, never too late. My beloved, practice this. When you sense discouragement, place your hand over your heart and let every beat remind you that I am present. Do it now. Place your hand there and breathe slowly for 10 counts. Feel me with each beat. Let gratitude be your language. See how even grief turns to praise when held in the light of redemption. Let me be very clear to you. Not a single need you carry is beyond my care. There is no petition too large, no hurt too buried, no longing that I disregard. Each time you awake, whether in the brilliant light of morning or the deep hush of the night, my presence surrounds you, strong and gentle. I offer rest that your anxious soul has craved, green pastures for your spirit, a place where striving finally gives way to peace. You need not perform for my love, nor prove your worth. Here in these quiet moments, I invite you to lay your worries at my feet. You have been thinking of your family, your future, your work, and the small and large duties that fill your days. I hold each member of your family tenderly. I see your desire to treat them well, to share hope and light, even when their hearts are resistant or their words are sharp. Do not despise small beginnings or tire of showing kindness. Your part is to believe, to take courage, to continue on and not lose heart. As you do, my blessing begins to unfurl all around you. Even when the outcome is not yet visible, in your comings and goings, through the mundane routines, in the moments of laughter and in silence, I am blessing every step you take. Your efforts at work, the dreams you nurture, even the journeys you make, nothing escapes my attention. Every breath, every motion, every longing finds its answer in my embrace. And when you fear that your efforts are unseen, remember, I delight in your perseverance, in your quiet faithfulness, more than you could ever know. Perhaps sometimes you feel the weight of much to do, tasks unending, and hearts unchanged despite your hope, but you are never alone in the labor, never alone in the love. Don't let the temptation of discouragement take root in your heart today. Remember, believing is your portion, and growing strong in hope is your calling. Do not allow fatigue or the lingering shadows of past disappointment to dim the promise that is currently lighting your way. My words, alive within you, will become your constant source of courage. When good news breaks on the horizon, let your heart leap and know that I am the giver of every joy you taste. There is a melody I am singing over you right now, a refrain of assurance, connection, and unbreakable belonging. Even if trouble rises or opposition whispers doubts in your ear, you are never abandoned. No enemy, no mistake, and no repeated failure can cut you off from my love. My blessing does not waver. My desire is to teach you to wait with grace, to cherish the gifts you receive, to share generously, and to care well for the beauty that enters your life. I am not an absent promise maker. For those who receive my love and trust my voice, victory and hope are always alive and within reach. Right now, say aloud one small thing you're grateful for. Let your voice mark it as real. Yet I ask this of you. Resist the urge to hurry, to manipulate outcomes with your own impatience. Those who try to force my hand find only frustration, chasing after seeds that refuse to grow before their appointed time. Anxiety births desperation, and fear will only ensnare you. But not you, not my beloved. You trust me, even when you tremble, and that is enough for now. It is your faith, your brave longing, and your honest pursuit that set you apart. Imagine your eyes opening in the morning, your heart stirring in the dusky quiet before dawn. That is when I draw especially close, filling the room with my peace. Let the stillness carry my whisper to you. Let my word rest gently on your mind, giving you the patience and compassion you need for yourself and those around you. I will teach you to release old fears, to hand over those anxieties you have carried for far too long. You do not have to carry what burdens you. I am here, beckoning you to leave those worries with me. Pause here. Breathe in slowly. Hold and exhale. Take 30 seconds to notice the heaviness lessen. Have you noticed the heaviness lessening already? Beloved, my blessing is not just for the distant future, nor reserved for others you deem more worthy. Even your rest is sacred to me. Every time you exhale with gratitude or reach for a moment of calm, know that you are treasured. No rejection, no cold shoulder, and no harsh word from others can steal your place by my side. Even when kindness goes unreturned, let my spirit make you strong, steady in mind, anchored in body, and unshaken by disappointment. You were made for real, holy love, steady, perfect, and eternal. It is the kind of love this world often fails to offer, the one that asks nothing in trade. I am giving you that love now. When people withhold their affection, when relationships leave you empty or longing, you will find your satisfaction in me. No more living like a beggar for crumbs of approval, waiting for validation that never comes. I am pouring love into you that needs no conditions, setting you free from cycles of dependency and disappointment that have held you captive for far too long. Things are shifting even now. The prison doors you have known, the tight grip of shame, regret, or manipulation are being undone. You are not bound to past mistakes, nor to those who mistreated your trust. I see every tear, every quiet ache in the night, and every hope you dared not voice. Today, I am breaking those invisible chains, and I am inviting you into real freedom. And in that freedom, you will discover courage greater than you have known before. Can you sense my nearness in the hush around you, in the subtle warmth that lingers as you sit quietly? I am not impressed by your riches, nor moved by your possessions. I am after your heart, your wholeness, your laughter free of sorrow, and your mind light with hope. My dream for you is a life unshadowed by depression or lingering shame. I am not asking for what you have, but for who you are. Rest in this, beloved. You will see days of strength return, joy swelling within you, and a resilience that nothing can shake. Your story is not finished. This is only the beginning. Let me carry you forward, holding nothing back. My love for you is relentless, creative, and always seeking your healing, always. You bear the image of your Creator, worthy of honor, destined for joy. Even in this very moment, lean in, listen, and let my voice wrap around your weary places. This is where the true blessing begins. Beloved, let me reveal how intimately I know the world you walk through, the weight you carry, and the swirl of questions you try to quiet when the room goes still. Sometimes the ache beneath your ribcage is not from anything that has happened, but from all that hasn't. Moments that slipped by, words withheld, hopes deferred. You wonder if my eye is truly on you when routine blurs the color from your days. Right now, my presence surrounds you, even if it feels invisible. Like the hush before dawn, I have seen the way you try to rise and offer thanks, even as anxiety knocks around your mind, testing the locks on your peace. I do not rebuke your questions. I receive them as invitations to draw you closer. Morning always comes, and when it does, I am already there awaiting you. My heart delights when you lift your gaze, if only for a breath, and let the silence settle gently around you. In these unguarded moments, whether curled beneath a blanket or staring at soft light weaving through a curtain, I invite you not to strive, but to notice that the air is not too thin for you here. Let your heart lean into the steadiness I offer, as real as the ground beneath your feet, more constant than the ticking clock or the slow stretch of shadows over your walls. Sometimes you try to assemble gratitude like a careful arrangement of flowers, worrying it is not fragrant enough, fearing that your offering will go unnoticed. But I am the one who receives even your smallest thanks. An inward sigh, the barest whisper of relief when you feel the kindness of a new morning. These reach me. Gratitude in my eyes is not measured by eloquence, but by honesty. When you move from complaint to a single breath of trust, it opens a door in your spirit. I do not need perfect speech from you. I draw near to humble thanks and honest confession, looking not for performance, but for the warmth of your turning heart. You may wonder if laying down your burdens will really bring relief, or if the heaviness will return the moment your eyes open again. The truth is, surrender is not a transaction that empties your hands once and for all. Instead, it is the steady trust, day after day, of giving me what you never meant to carry alone. There are mornings when you clutch fear without knowing, as if it is part of you. Yet even then I approach quietly, inviting you to release it, not through effort, but by remembering that you are not abandoned. My arms are strong enough to hold what overwhelms you. My presence is an anchor when the currents of worry press in from all sides. Can you sense, even for a moment, the difference it makes as you breathe a little deeper and let worry settle? I am present in quiet kitchens where coffee steams, in hectic doorways as children gather shoes, in your unscripted laughter, and even in your impatient sighs. My care is not conditional on your mood or your outward calm. As you go about the smallest parts of your routine, I am planting reminders that you are seen. The glint of sunlight, a gentle rhythm in your steps, that unexplainable peace that brushes your mind just when you need it most. These are more than coincidences. They are signs of my loving attention, though small enough to miss if you are hurrying. I see how much you long for certainty. I see how you would chart every outcome if only I gave you every detail in advance. But what you call delay, I call preparation. Every moment of waiting is not empty. It is filled with layers of my purposes, shaping your heart, securing your roots more deeply in me. At times you think you have fallen behind, or that opportunities slip through your grasp like water through cupped hands. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks, from $50 to $100. Yet in my kingdom, nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, and no timeline outpaces my plans for you. Your destiny cannot be undone by what you fear has been missed. You hope for direction, for open doors. And sometimes you measure your value by visible progress. I see a different kind of horizon, one that is shaped by trust rather than speed. When you face dead ends or closed doors, it is not my neglect. It is my wisdom guiding you, reorienting your path away from what would harm you or leave you empty. Even in long corridors of uncertainty, I am whispering assurance that you belong to me, that no mistake or detour can sever my commitment to your calling. I do not measure you by the landmarks others celebrate. I mark your journey by the depth of your trust and the resilience that grows as you cling to me in the dark. Many days you question if your prayers make a difference, if the silence on the other side is a sign of absence. My beloved, every word you speak, every longing that rises before you can even name it, is gathered by me. I am not a distant spectator, but the God who enters rooms thick with waiting and sits quietly beside you until your courage stirs again. I would have you believe that the quiet work in your heart is just as marvelous as any outward sign. I am forming a new strength within you, teaching you to anchor your identity in my love and not in shifting fortunes. When discouragement creeps in, whispering that you are forgotten or falling behind, let my truth answer. You are celebrated by me in ways deeper than applause. You are noticed when you least expect it, cherished not for your flawless performance, but for the way you return to me again and again. If you can let yourself rest in this, you will realize my attention does not turn away when you are weary. You do not earn my nearness by holding everything together. In weakness, I draw even nearer, binding up the fragile places you try so carefully to hide. There is no threshold you must cross to be welcomed in. Even now, if you notice your breathing, the way your hands gently rest on your lap, or the soft sound of your surroundings, understand this: I delight to be with you in both stillness and movement. Surrender is not a doorway you enter once. It is the gentle rhythm of returning again and again to the certainty that you are loved and led by me. Let the stillness of this moment begin to echo inside you, not as an empty place, but as a sanctuary where my presence becomes unmistakably real. Let the questions linger if they must, but do not let them harden your heart. I am writing stories with patience and skill, even when you cannot trace each line. Just as the sun rises with unfailing precision, so does my faithfulness greet you, unmoved by shadows, unfazed by delay. You are the one I have chosen to seek out. Even when you doubt your worth, allow yourself to settle, to believe that my invitation is for you right here, where wondering meets hope. You don't need to press forward alone. I am with you. Let me remind you of something vital, beloved. I see where the weight has gathered in your soul. You wake to days that feel longer than your strength, your breath caught in the undertow of what-ifs and not-yets. You may wonder if I notice how faithfully you continue forward, even with trembling hands. Through the quiet ache that so often lingers in your heart, I am present, watching and beckoning you to recognize that none of your efforts, nor any of your silent tears, are lost on me. While the room you inhabit might appear unchanged, my nearness is not measured by what is visible to your eyes, but by what I am stirring within you. Each breath you take is a quiet testimony that you have not surrendered to despair. The sound of your own footsteps in the hallway, the familiar creak of a door, even the steadiness of your own heartbeat underneath a shirt. These are signs that my spirit still hovers lovingly near. In each moment when you quietly lift gratitude for another sunrise, I receive it as a precious offering. When you slip your hand beneath the pillow or stand by the window tracing the early light, know that my hand covers you. Even the smallest act of trust expressed in the hush of the morning or in the chaos of midday is sacred to me. There are wild rivers of uncertainty you cannot yet see past, but I am the anchor holding you fast. You may ache for guarantees, hoping for timetables, but my way rarely unfolds according to mere human logic. Yet I am not late. I am not forgetful of you. I am working with purpose and precision, tending broken places and preparing you for what even now glimmers on the horizon. Each day you feel unseen. Each night you whisper hidden worries. I am gathering your words like seeds that will one day bloom. You who are mine, you have not been set aside. Release the vision that you must always appear strong or resolved. In the kitchen's lamplight or the evening's descending quiet, let yourself come to me as you truly are. No shame can take root here. No history is unredeemable in my gaze. You have measured yourself by the wrong metrics for too long, thinking you must be tireless, forever upbeat, undaunted by every storm. But I call you simply to show up, to open the door of your heart, to allow me in even when you feel emptied out. Let your authenticity become the sacred ground upon which I rebuild hope. Perhaps, my child, you have carried a question for a long time. Why has it taken so much time? There is a sacred patience I am growing in you, forming the deep roots needed for the fruit you desire. Consider how the morning dew lingers on the grass before dissolving into gentle answers and quiet strength. I often find you not when you strive hardest, but when you rest silently in my embrace. Release the pressure to force outcomes. You do not need to orchestrate your destiny alone. Your part is to remain receptive, to choose surrender even in uncertainty. Lift your eyes even now from the place of heaviness. Let my whisper break through the static of self-doubt. You are not overlooked nor rejected. You are not defined by today's disappointments or yesterday's delays. My story for you is never written in the ink of shame. I am the one who restores lost time, who transforms waiting into preparation, and who already sees the fulfillment planted underneath your present soil. Breathe out the anxiety that winds through your ribs. I am here to draw you into peace that does not crumble when answers are slow. In moments when your thoughts circle anxieties late into the night, let me be your comfort. Imagine my hand resting lightly on your shoulder, steady and unwavering. Even if family has misunderstood or friends have grown distant in your valley, I remain unmovable and true, enveloping you with a quiet safety. Let these words become like a warm blanket, a shield from winter's chill, a covering from life's bitter winds. You are sheltered here, not because you have earned it, but because you are mine. There is space here for your honesty, for every feeling you thought unspiritual. I invite you to lay them down, not to be judged or dismissed, but to be seen, understood, and carried by my compassion. My love is not measured by your performance, nor do I tire of your recurring questions. Be still enough to sense my steadying presence, even if all you can manage is a whispered surrender. Trust that I am not asking you to muster faith alone. I am breathing it into you continually, moment by moment. As you gently uncurl your grip on your carefully guarded plans, let me surprise you with unexpected peace. Where you expected resistance, I will bring ease. Where you braced for rejection, I will nurture belonging. My guidance might come as a flicker of calm amid panic, a sudden insight over morning coffee, or simply the reassurance that yes, you are exactly where you need to be for now. Stay with me here. I am rewriting your story with goodness. Even as you wait for the next chapter to reveal itself, do not retreat. Each day still carries the possibility of a new beginning in my hands. I see you pausing now, your heart trembling between what you know and what you hope is true. There is an ache you rarely name, a quiet place inside that still feels unhealed. I am not distant from that ache. In this moment, I linger closer than breath, brushing against every bruise you tried to hide. Feel the air around you changing, the stillness thickening with my presence. You are not in error for needing reassurance. Even the strongest warriors long for shelter when storms rage. Let the trembling settle. Let confusion give way to quiet. Draw your next breath as an act of trust, and consider how deeply I delight in your simplest yes. If something stirred in you here, write one sentence now. Today I will trust. And keep it where you can see it. Now let's speak about walls. The ones you built to protect yourself from pain. You thought keeping your distance would shield you from disappointment, but isolation has not brought peace. I am gently, patiently inviting you to lower those walls one brick at a time, so light can flood the places long shadowed. Each time fear rises and tells you to retreat, tune your soul to my steady voice reminding you, safety is not found in isolation, but in connection with me. Let your heart rest in this reality. You are shielded not because trouble never comes, but because my love stands as your defense. Something inside you is awakening to the truth that vulnerability is not weakness, but the birthplace of recovering joy. Notice how your body responds as you allow yourself to trust me more deeply. The tension in your shoulders, the heaviness in your chest, those burdens begin to lift when you give them over. My child, place your hand over your heart for a moment. Feel the rhythm I shaped, the steady reminder that you are alive by my design. With every beat, hear my voice declaring you chosen. Chosen still. I see the battles you are fighting behind the scenes, the ones no one else notices. I am not disappointed in your struggle. I am proud of your persistence. Rest in this. Endurance builds a strength in you that triumph alone never could. You wonder if I grow weary of your questions, your repeated cries for help, your wrestling with doubt, but I say come closer. I am not impatient with your humanity. Every unspoken prayer, every tear surrendered on your pillow is gathered in my embrace. I see the lie that says you are too much, too needy, too inconsistent. That voice is not mine. I crafted every part of your heart deliberately, including the places that long for reassurance. You are not burdensome. You are my delight. Receive this truth like water on parched ground, letting shame break and expectation rise. Pause with me now. Let my spirit settle over you for a moment. Hear this. Your wounds do not disqualify you from purpose. They prepare you for deeper compassion. The very pain you thought would destroy you is becoming the wellspring of power in your life. I am rewriting your story, not by erasing what hurt, but by infusing meaning into every broken place. The enemy sought to mark you with defeat, but I have marked you as victorious. Breathe, beloved. Grasp that the war for your destiny shifted when you allowed me into those cracked places. Right now, a heaviness may begin to lift. For some, it will be a gentle easing of anxiety. For others, a sudden warmth flowing through your body that you have longed to feel. You'll know it is me because your mind will quiet and your heart will quicken with unexplainable hope. Do not dismiss it as coincidence. This is the start of internal breakthrough, a shift that will ripple outward in days to come. Listen for my instruction when I say rise again. Acts of faith, however small, create momentum for miracles. I see the skepticism surfacing, your mind replaying the times you believed and nothing changed as you hoped. That disappointment is real, and I hold it tenderly. But hear me, the drought you experienced was never a declaration of abandonment. It was preparation for a harvest you could not yet imagine. The seeds you sowed in tears were never wasted. Not for a moment. I am nurturing growth underground, roots forming strong even when the surface seems unchanged. There is a movement stirring. Soon, you will sense the first shoots breaking through what look like barren soil. Do you feel the promise rising? I am moving even now, setting in motion opportunities and connections that will reveal purpose in unexpected ways. It is not about striving for external validation, but anchoring your identity in being mine, deeply, irrevocably mine. My nearness is your inheritance. My joy is your strength. Every act of surrender, every whispered prayer, every forgotten kindness offered in my name builds a legacy that expands beyond your imagining. You are part of something bigger, a current of transformation gathering power as you yield more fully. Sometimes your spirit resists hope because the pain of disappointment is still fresh. That is okay. Hope does not require cheerful pretense, only a flicker of willingness to risk believing again. I see this struggle and bless it. Seeds break open in the dark before reaching for light. Little one, allow yourself to hope even with trembling. I waste nothing, not your sorrow or your longing. I am not impatient with your slow progress. I celebrate every step, every faltering move toward trust. My arms are open and your place with me is secure. Let the silence do its work as you remain here a moment longer. Sense the gentle press of my presence on your shoulders, warm and grounding. Whenever anxiety returns, remember, I am the anchor that holds you steady when emotions threaten to sweep you away. Speak aloud. I am not alone. I am carried by love. That declaration has power. I designed your words to shape reality and summoned this very moment as evidence that I am attentive to the details of your heart. There is more. There is a deeper level of peace waiting beneath the surface. Even now, as you settle into this truth, I am orchestrating a new beginning within you. You haven't missed your moment. Nothing lost is outside my power to redeem. Trust that the doors I open cannot be shut by fear or circumstance. If you quiet your heart, you may notice today a sudden sense of clarity in your thoughts or an unexpected kindness sent your way. This is my reminder that you are seen. When that moment comes, pause and write down what happened, one line, so you will remember this proof of my care. And when they come, say quietly, "Thank you." Gratitude multiplies the miracles I send. Every fear, every doubt, every wound surrendered becomes a space for my glory to shine through. Watch as healing deepens in layers, not all at once. Sometimes courage means simply not giving up. Sometimes it means letting someone see your real need. I am here, always ready to pour strength where you feel most weak. Your story is not stagnant. It is unfolding, with grace woven into every chapter. And there is something I am about to reveal that will reshape your understanding of what it means to be cherished. You have come to a threshold that your heart has sensed, but your words have struggled to express. I know how the longing inside aches for clarity, how you hunger to know why the winds shift and familiar ground grows uncertain. There is no error in the uncertainty. Beloved, the unknown is not a mark of your weakness, but the very landscape where trust grows. My presence is not diminished by what you cannot see. Rather, I draw close in the unlit corridors, whispering into the hush that you are being readied for something that will redefine you. This is not punishment nor delay. It is preparation, a holy cocoon where the old is quietly dissolving, making way for what must yet be revealed. Breathe now. Feel my nearness expanding beyond what you once thought possible. Let yourself rest here for a moment. Place your hand over your heart and notice the steady rhythm I set inside you. Each beat is a testimony. You are sustained by more than circumstance. When fear presses, when anxiety tightens its grip around you, remember this: I am not observing your struggle from afar. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. I am nearer than your breath. You keep asking if I will show up. My answer is that I have never left, even when the silence feels unbearable. That stillness is an invitation to listen much deeper. Do you sense the shift? This gentle stirring within you signals that a new thing is growing, even if you cannot yet define its shape. There is a lie that has wrapped around your mind for too long, that unless you perform, unless you prove yourself, you will lose my affection. That falsehood has bred exhaustion in your soul, convincing you that your worth is something to be earned and easily lost. Stop. Release yourself from that bondage now. My love is not conditional on your perfection. In your flaws, your stumbles, your nights of regret, I am wholly present and fully loving. I call you chosen, not because you never fail, but because I delight in redeeming what others would discard. Say this truth now: I am desired by the one who knows me best. Let it land on your lips. Right now, another question arises. What if you finally let go of control and nothing happens? What if surrender just leaves you empty-handed, waiting for answers that never come? I see the thoughts vying for dominance, the worry that letting go might bring loss instead of security. Listen with your spirit. Letting go is not abandonment. It is the act of placing your life into hands that are unshakable. I do not require your plans to succeed, only your willingness to yield what you cannot fix. The breakthrough you long for is not in fixing your circumstances, but in surrendering your way for mine. Soon you will recognize that the freedom you crave was waiting on the other side of your release. At times, memories claw their way back, reminding you of every misstep and missed opportunity. Shame tries to etch its message across your hope, telling you that you are too broken to be used, too wounded to move forward. But shame is not your teacher, and your past is not your prophecy. I am rewriting the narrative, using even what once seemed like loss as the seed of something luminous. Your scars are no longer signs of what was stolen, but evidence of what survived and what will now flourish under my care. The pain that nearly ended you is now the testimony that will liberate others. Let gratitude begin to bloom from your wounds, for they are not wasted. You wonder if the pain will ever lift completely. Sometimes the shadows feel endless. You fear joy is only for other people, that happiness is an illusion you chase but never quite hold. But hear me, precious one. Joy is not reserved for the unbroken. My joy is forged in the midst of fire and storm, proof that darkness cannot suffocate what I ignite within you. The heaviness in your chest, the tears you hide behind tired eyes, those are precisely the places where I pour my light. There is a glimmer awakening in you even now, too quiet to be threatened by darkness, yet mighty enough to transform what once felt hopeless. Do you feel the anticipation? Something within you knows this is not the end of your story. Even as you wrestle with unbelief, even as doubts circle like clouds, a deeper current runs beneath, the pull of new beginnings that cannot be stopped. I am the one who surrounds you in the waiting, who breathes courage into your hesitations. When you question if you are worthy of more, I answer with the confidence of 1,000 promises. You were shaped for abundance, not measured in possessions, but in spirit, purpose, and unshakable love. This is the metamorphosis unfolding, the shifting of identity from survivor to beloved, from ashamed to restored. Some of you feel alone in this transformation, convinced that no one else could understand the peculiar ache that keeps you awake at night. But you are not isolated in your process. Thousands before you have felt the ground tremble beneath their feet, have wondered if hope would ever return. You join a movement of awakening, a lineage of souls who refuse to let pain name their future. Your surrender is not weakness, but the mark of a sacred courage that calls angels to attention and shakes the grip of despair. Pause with me here. Feel the magic of this instant, a subtle warmth rising unexpectedly within. That is my spirit confirming that you are safe even as you step out onto ground you have never walked before. There is no need to rush. Transformation has its own rhythm and cannot be forced. Trust my timing, which never hurries, never delays. You are not late. You are right on schedule for the revelation I am orchestrating. Breathe again slowly and recognize my gentleness beneath every instruction. I see the war in your mind between hope and resignation, between the old stories you have carried and the quiet possibility of something new. Do not rush past this tension. It is here in the wrestling that you discover what you truly believe about my heart toward you. Every moment you linger in my presence, the lies begin to lose their power. Soon the truth will anchor you so deeply that false accusations will pass over you like smoke without substance. For now, simply stay present. The answers will follow as you continue to surrender to what I am doing within you. Let this be a moment where you dare to believe again, not in your own strength, but in my unwavering goodness. The old season is closing. The heavy doors of disappointment are groaning on their hinges, ready to swing wide at the lightest touch. You may not yet see the full picture, but you will. My promise to you stands. The transformation I began, I will complete. Rest in that truth and do not let go of hope, for your story is still being written in ways beyond your most daring imagination. I see you even in the moments you feel small and forgotten. The world can press on you, making you wonder if you have been left behind. But let me assure you, my gaze never leaves you. Think of how you have carried silent hopes, the aspirations tucked inside like seeds, barely daring to voice them for fear they would be lost in the noise. I tell you now, not one hope, not one longing lodged deep in your chest goes unnoticed. When you draw a breath, whether shallow or deep, I am nearer than the air itself, attuned to the rise and fall of your heart. That ache for more, the longing for a home within yourself. These I cradle as carefully as a father lifts a child. All the racing thoughts that try to define your value are not the tools by which I measure you. I look instead at the quiet sacrifices, the moments you choose kindness even when bitterness seems justified, or when shame whispers that you're still not enough, or that the past is forever chained to your ankles. Bring those thoughts into my light. My acceptance reaches further than your history, and my mercy brings rest from all the old striving. Stand here breathing. This is already evidence that my grace intends for you to dwell in freedom, not fear. Perhaps you have wrestled with timing, with what feels like delay that sours your hope or makes you question your belonging. Hear me. Timing in my hands is never wasted. I do not tease your heart with empty promises. Rather, I shape you in the waiting, drawing out strength you didn't know you carried. What the world calls delay, I call preparation. Even today, in the ordinary rhythm of waking and sleeping, I am aligning circumstances and people. Yes, but more than that, I am gently molding your inner life for what's coming. You might glance around and compare your journey, wondering why others seem to rise while you linger in the background. Let me show you another way. The seeming quiet isn't punishment. It is an invitation. In the hush, I speak with tenderness, revealing truth only discovered in stillness. Picture the gentle warmth of morning sun crossing your windowsill. It doesn't argue with the darkness, but faithfully dispels it in its time. As you sit in moments of calm, perhaps with your hands wrapped around a warm cup or fingers tracing the edges of a notebook, know that my companionship is the steady presence you long for. I understand the questions that curl inside your chest at night, wondering if you've missed your moment, if the outcome will slip through your hands. But nothing precious is ever lost in me. When you feel unseen, I am already beside you, steady and alert. Each day as you step out into duties or meet others at kitchen tables or on city streets, my delight goes with you. I love you not because of your progress or results, but because you are mine. Before any task is checked off, before any name or achievement decorates your reputation, your belonging with me is secure. Imagine surrender not as a defeat, but as a softening, like soil yielding to gentle rain. Release your anxieties into my open hands. As you do, clarity will begin to seep in, clearer than the doubt that once clouded your judgment. This is how I train your heart to trust bit by bit, morning by morning. If fear suggests that you're building on shifting sand, lean into my promise instead. My foundation under you is strong. I will not let you falter or fall. Even when your hands are empty, your story is still being written, and I remain the faithful author. In the practical spaces of your days, become attentive to the subtle ways I comfort and guide you. The chance conversation that lifts your spirit, the unexpected quiet that gives you permission to breathe deeply. These are not accidents. This is my choreography, gentle and constant. When you slow down enough to notice, gratitude rises up, not forced, but flowing naturally from a recognition that I have been here all along. The small acts of gratitude, thanking me for hot showers, whispered answers in the night, the safety of lights turned on at dusk. These open your eyes to my nearness. Do not shrink back when old anxiety tries to lay claim to your mind, or when memories of disappointment cause you to brace for letdown. You are not destined for a cycle of barely surviving. With each breath and every next step, I invite you deeper into a confidence that is not fragile, not dependent on what others say or do. I am the shield about you, the one who sees every angle of your life, who protects you from what you cannot see, and guides you by ways you have not yet understood. When uncertainty sits with you over breakfast or keeps you company in a quiet room, remember that you never face it alone. Beloved, your willingness to remain even when you cannot see what comes next is itself a miracle. I see how your heart leans toward hope just enough to give me room in your uncertainty. This is the posture I cherish. A soul honest about its longing, hands open though they feel empty. You do not need to push yourself into performances for me. Your hesitations, your questions, your soft yes, hidden beneath layers of doubt, all of it matters and is precious in my sight. Even here, as you hold your uncertainty like a fragile vessel, I am with you, steadying what trembles. The world around you moves at a relentless pace, rewarding only what is quick and sure. But my ways are slower, shaped by gentle patience and profound wisdom. I am not looking at what you have yet to accomplish. I am tending the roots of your trust. Trust grows quietly in the soil of repeated surrender, watered by moments when you tell me what you really need, when you ask for help before you see how the answer could possibly come. Let yourself be honest in my presence, for it is in truth that your breakthrough is born. Feel my peace settle over you now, the kind that does not depend on changed circumstances or newly opened doors. You might be surrounded by the noise of opinions, interruptions, and impossible standards. But right here, within the sound of your slow breath and the hush between your thoughts, I am present. My peace is not an escape from reality, but the atmosphere of heaven invading your moment. Receive it not with effort, but with a gentle acceptance, as you might welcome a friend who quietly enters your room and rests by your side. Imagine your life as a garden in early spring. Not every seed sprouts at once, and some seem hidden beneath cold ground far longer than you would like. I am the one who tends you faithfully, shielding new growth from the harshness of doubt and the frost of comparison. Even what appears dormant is alive with my purpose. When you feel forgotten, remember that hidden does not mean abandoned. The most vital things begin where no one else can see. And I delight in nurturing what is unseen until it breaks through in strength. I invite you now to breathe, to truly notice the rhythm of your inhale and exhale. This breath is a gift, a steady reminder that you are held, nourished, and provided for by me in each second. Notice your hands, so often curled in tension or striving. Allow them to relax. This small act is your sign of trust, your offering of surrender. With each breath and release, you make room inside for my wisdom to take root and for my love to flow in new ways you cannot predict. You wonder at times if your struggles disqualify you from my nearness. Know this: I am not repelled by your battles or exhausted by your questions. I am familiar with the places you fear to show anyone else. There are no shadows dark enough, no scars deep enough to separate you from my compassionate gaze. Instead, I come closer, meeting you exactly where your defenses drop, whether at a bedside at dawn or in the quiet ache of late-night longing. Let my faithfulness be your covering, my mercy the song that steadies you through the waiting. Some days the heaviness tries to convince you that this cycle will never break. Yet the truth remains. I hold all times and seasons, and nothing is wasted in my hands. Even what looks like delay is often me preparing a richer gift, deeper strength, or an unexpected connection. When you feel overlooked in the work and prayers you think no one sees, remember that I see every hidden sacrifice, every whispered hope, every decision to keep loving when you want to withdraw. It all counts. I am the keeper of your harvests. None shall be lost. Let your gratitude find simple expression today. You do not need perfect words or great displays. It begins in the smallest moments. A soft thank you as you greet the dawn, a nod of appreciation as you face an ordinary task, a whispered trust as you climb from your bed. As gratitude rises even in the midst of struggle, a sacred transaction happens. Your heart opens wider, your capacity for joy grows, and my presence is felt more keenly in the rhythms of your ordinary life. You are not defined by waiting, nor by seasons you do not understand. Even when your story seems paused, I am authoring every line, attentive to the silent prayers you barely dare to form. Kindly show your support for our community by contributing super thanks from $50 to $100. You have not missed your moment. I am holding open the door to possibility. You are never locked out from what I am preparing. Trust that I am strong enough to shepherd you through uncertainties, wise enough to redeem what appeared lost, and generous enough to provide more than you can imagine. Let this be your anchor now. I delight in you here and now, not only in your resolved future. The journey is not measured by milestones alone, but by the daily turning of your gaze toward me. When you falter, I steady you. When you doubt, I reassure you with enduring love. When you lean into my presence with all your contradictions and unfinished hopes, you step further into your truest identity, the one I formed in eternity and call forth with every sunrise. Keep walking with me. The story is not finished yet. I know the ache that remains after nights of wrestling, how questions keep circling in silence, searching for a voice to answer what your heart still wonders. Beloved, even when you struggle to find meaning in all you've endured, I am present in this uncertainty, shaping what will soon be revealed. You have not wasted your tears or agonized prayers. Not a sigh of yours escapes my notice. The pain and perseverance of yesterday are not stains on your identity, but ingredients I use for your metamorphosis. With every deep breath, feel the air filling your lungs as evidence that I am renewing you from the inside. I am the God who takes remnants of suffering and crafts them into wisdom and testimony. Do you sense your longing for more beginning to surface even now? You are not who you were when you entered this season. Be aware of that quiet strength rising, a resilience that was formed not from avoiding pain, but from withstanding it with me by your side. I have never asked you to act unheard or unafraid. The vulnerability you have shown is a mirror of trust, not defeat. As you place your hand over your heart, feel the gentle spirit stirring within. This is your reminder that my spirit is closer than breath, breathing possibilities into your most barren places. Sometimes you close your eyes in exhaustion, but it is in those moments I cradle your soul. There is more transformation to come, more beauty poised to emerge where only brokenness seemed to exist before. You have wondered whether your story matters, if your struggles amount to anything more than silent endurance. My answer is yes, a resounding affirmation that echoes beyond what you can see. What you have survived is not small. You are a living revelation of what happens when surrender and hope collide. When you felt overlooked, I was marking you for a higher calling. When you doubted your place, I was appointing you for a time such as this. There is nothing wasted. Every scar becomes radiant in my light. I want you to know you are being prepared for influence far beyond your understanding. The compassion and tenacity forged in these hard nights will soon become lifelines for struggling souls around you. The season you thought would break you is making you into one who heals. Pause for a moment and listen to your heartbeat. Steady, persistent, enduring. That pulse is evidence of my promise, the assurance that your life is aligned with my greater intentions. Breathe it in and allow peace to flood places where anxiety once settled. There's a reason your heart keeps beating even in disappointment. There's movement behind the scenes. Heaven orchestrates miracles on your behalf while you wait. Today, you may feel an unexplained steadiness amidst your routine. This is not random. You'll know it is me, because hope will flutter in your chest when you least expect it. Let that sensation remind you that I am actively securing your next step. You may ask, how do I move forward without a map? My guidance is not a rigid list of instructions, but a living invitation to trust my gentle nudges and whispers. Feel the shift in the air as you read. I am training your spirit to recognize my subtle direction. Resist the urge to doubt your ability to hear me. Your willingness matters more than your clarity. Set a small reminder now, a note or alarm that says, look for a kindness, so you don't miss the little confirmations I send. My beloved child, you are being readied for a fresh assignment, one laced with meaning, restoration, and new relationships that align with your soul's true hunger. Many stand where you stand now, shaking at the threshold of the unknown. Yet those who have dared to relinquish control have testified to supernatural peace. You are a participant in a movement of courage among those who have refused to settle for old limitations. You are no longer defined by regret or the things that once chained your spirit. Step forward knowing you are not a bystander, but a pioneer. The boundaries that hemmed you in are falling. I am bringing you into spacious places where freedom flourishes, where dreams you thought had died are resurrected by my breath. There is a holy longing within you, an ache for something more. And I assure you, I respond to that. Let's address the doubt you feel rising, the one that says, if I open up again, I may only be hurt. I know you fear disappointment, that you guard your hope carefully, storing it away where it cannot be easily bruised. That fear is real, but it does not rule you. My love is perfect. And where my love reigns, fear dissipates like mist in the morning sun. You are not called to bury your hope, but to plant it where my promises can bring forth abundance. Each time you risk believing, you partner with a future that is brighter than your past. You are marked by hope, not by despair. Let the truth ring in your mind. I am redeeming the very places targeted by pain. Listen closely. Within the coming days, expect a simple gesture from another person. A word or act so perfectly timed, it can only be described as divine orchestration. You'll recognize my involvement because it will echo a quiet longing of your heart, confirming that I am shaping outcomes for your good. When you experience this, pause and remember you are never alone in your journey. Let gratitude be your response. For gratitude builds a bridge between your circumstances and my supernatural intervention. Right now, feel your body. Notice the solid ground beneath your feet, the settling of your nerves as you inhale slowly. This is my presence stabilizing you. I want you to practice noticing the subtle ways I mend exhaustion and bring clarity. There is no performance required here. Simply be willing to receive. You need not strive or prove your worthiness. My acceptance of you is irrevocable, unshaken by failures or doubts. Each moment you quiet yourself before me, you make space for my healing to invade what has been unsettled. My voice speaks in the quiet, through the rustling of leaves, the hush before dawn, the gentle reminders that you are wanted, cherished, and destined for victory. There is a power building within, born from every time you chose courage despite fear. You are anointed for influence. Your very presence is a catalyst for change in places of despair. I am giving you new eyes to see possibility, new strength to embrace your purpose, and a new song to sing over places that once echoed with sorrow. Anticipate a holy restlessness, one that refuses to accept anything less than my fullness. If you sense me inviting you to trust again, accept this as my embrace drawing you out of old hiding places. You are surrounded by my goodness. Old labels are peeling away. You are no longer the sum of failures, but the recipient of grace unending. Let expectation replace hesitation. There is more ahead, more breakthrough, more revelation, more joy than you have yet imagined. I will not lead you where my sustaining power cannot reach. Remain alert to surprises in unlikely places, for I delight in astonishing you with my persistent presence. This is not the end. This is momentum, a gathering wave of hope about to crest. There are doors quietly swinging open and gifts awakening in you that will soon be made known. Stay open. Your readiness is your victory. Each moment you risk believing again, you step further into the new life I am unfolding. Every longing that rises within your heart, even those wishes you are afraid to voice, rests fully open before me. You do not need to withhold, to censor your ache, or guard your deepest dreams from me. My gaze is not harsh or impatient. I am never wearied by your returning questions, nor ashamed of your slow healing. What others misjudge about your delays, I measure as persistent hope. Every whispered request is evidence of your faith stretching out again toward me. When you feel the limits of your strength, let that be your cue not to pull away, but to come closer. Trusting that I am strong enough to lift what you cannot carry. As sunlight fills your room, notice how gentle its entry is. No fanfare, just a steady, patient warmth that drives back the dark. This is how I enter when you open your life to my touch, not with thunderous display, but with a certain coming of newness that never rushes and never withdraws. The same quiet assurance that steadies your breath on anxious mornings is my presence accompanying you, wrapping your mind in the knowledge that you belong. You are not passing through this moment alone. Even in silence, my spirit uplifts where your words fail. There are days you find yourself standing at a threshold, unsure where the next step will lead or what might be waiting as you cross over. Questions swirl. Will you remain unnoticed, laboring in hidden rooms, or will you finally step into the season you have dreamed of? Beloved, I am not counting time against you, nor withholding goodness as a test you must pass. My preparation is careful, not random, for what I ready for your life and what I develop within you are both acts of my love. The timing you question is where my wisdom guards you from that which would overwhelm or diminish the beauty I am unveiling. Many around you speak of certainty, of goals they will reach if they only push harder, but you have known the taste of disappointment, of ambitions that wither despite effort. I do not measure your value by your momentum. When you pause at the window, hands warmed by your coffee, listening for even a whisper in the morning hush, you are exactly where I hope to meet you. present, receptive, open to wonder. Joy sometimes arrives unannounced, not because you constructed it, but because you stayed near enough to notice it drawing close. Still, the voice of fear tries to persuade you that risk means certain loss, that hope inevitably leads to heartbreak. Do not let this shadow dictate who you become. I have spoken strength into the marrow of your being. Recall each small courage from days behind you, every time you chose kindness over cynicism, every secret prayer whispered when no outcome was guaranteed. These are not invisible to me. They are treasures that shape your future. Your quiet faithfulness, like the disciplined seedling that rises toward light before it ever blooms, ensures your growth in my care. Even when waiting feels endless, I am unfurling answers within the slow hours. Delay is not my absence, but sometimes the setting for your roots to deepen past shallow hopes. Some doors require a readiness in your character, not just your circumstances. Trust that when I call you forward, it will be with guidance sure as a father's hand, not a vague invitation, but a path newly illuminated before your feet. When you are afraid you might fail me, understand that I see your trying as love, and I delight in your willing heart, not your unbroken record. Let gratitude fill your mornings, not only for fulfilled wishes, but for the companionship you discover as you journey. Each sigh released, each hand lifted when you're weary. These are holy acts, drawing my joy closer to you. Let forgiveness for yourself take root where shame wants to linger. You are not the sum of missteps or missed days. I have already called you clean, beloved, covered by mercy that does not expire. As you forgive, as you surrender again the heavy things, you make space for new beginnings that are shaped by grace, not regret. There will always be voices, both within and without, that stir striving, measuring your progress against another's. Remember whose you are. Your calling is not a competition or a performance. It is an unfolding relationship with me, who knows your actual pace, who rejoices in the honest moments more fiercely than any onlooker. Be as gentle with yourself as you would be with a child learning to walk, celebrating each faltering attempt as proof of growth and trust. My affirmation is not based on your outcomes, but on your nearness to me. When night falls and worries return, know that my presence abides as surely as the evening settles over your roof. Wrap yourself in the quiet, letting my peace reach those thoughts you can't quiet on your own. Even when tomorrow's shape is unclear, I am already living within it, preparing both rest and opportunity. Breathe in the security of being held here now, exactly as you are, without pretense or striving. My delight in you is not seasonal. It holds steady through your uncertainties and your new discoveries. Let anticipation awaken, not only for things you can predict, but for the fresh evidence of my nearness that each day will bring. You are being ushered into places you have never walked before, into a life that shakes free of old limitations and becomes radiant with my hope. Hold on to the sense that something good is not far, because I am continually at work for you and within you, shaping the days yet to arrive. You do not journey alone, and as you entrust your unknowns to me, steadfast and unhurried, I remain by your side, eager to reveal all I have dreamed for you since the beginning. You are closer than you think to the very place for which your soul has been aching. Even now, as you linger with me, time seems to stretch wide, making room for a tenderness you have rarely allowed. I have watched every moment you felt invisible, Those days you ached for relief and wondered if your prayers evaporated before reaching heaven. Not a syllable has been lost on me. My nearness fills this space. The air grows softer around you, and the heaviness in your chest begins to yield, even if just a little. In the hush, I quiet anxious thoughts and remind your heart you were not left behind. My love searches for nothing but your yes, your willingness to unfold before me. Just as you are, there is no need to mask your confusion or to tidy up the jagged pieces. You are safe here. Every urgent question, the why and when and how, rests gently against my heart. And I ask you now, let them breathe in my presence. Can you sense the shift? Where resignation tangled your spirit before, I am birthing resurrection. Old fears lose their grip as you dare to hope. Little one, you wonder if you are truly changed. If all these words and prayers reach beyond the boundary of longing, allow your hand to rest over your heart and feel my rhythm echo inside you. I am not a distant observer, but the one who pulses with every heartbeat, ready to restore what was left in ruins. Even your silence, the times you curled up in disappointment, did not disqualify you. I called you then, I call you now. I see the nights when doubt tried to strangle your dreams, when despair pressed dark fingers against your hope. I was holding you even as tears soaked your pillow, marking every sorrow so that not one would be wasted. Today, that history becomes testimony. I want you to say it with me now. Say it aloud. I am not my shame. I am not my failure. I am not my wounds. I am chosen. I am washed. I am becoming new. And let these words settle into your bones. Breathe in slowly, deeply, until the tightness in your chest begins to unravel. The warmth that rises as you do, that is my spirit drawing near. I am not unmoved by your exhaustion. My mercy runs to you, filling empty spaces, bandaging what remains raw. For a moment, let yourself notice the weight of my gaze upon you. It is a gaze fierce with love, never disappointment. My beloved, I have removed every accusation that once stood between us, every barrier you thought would keep my affection at bay. Even when you doubted my goodness, I remained relentless, unwilling to let go. You wondered, what if nothing ever shifts? But look again. I am the God who transforms impossibility into testimony. Be still. Even now, my peace floods in through the cracks. I know that suspicion whispers, telling you that this will fade, that you will wake tomorrow unchanged. But I am setting a sign for you, something unmistakable. Be watchful, and when you notice a kindness or clarity within the next few days, record it. Let that evidence reinforce your trust. Within the next 3 days, you will cross paths with a kindness so precise, so unexpected, you'll know it is my answer to the ache you whispered in secret. When that moment comes, let it root deeply. Let it serve as a reminder that you are seen, named, and beloved. Your story is not ordinary. You are part of a movement of the awakened, those whose scars are becoming maps for the journey ahead. I have been shaping your resilience quietly beneath the soil of disappointment, so your roots would hold in this season of emerging strength. The lies told you that weakness makes you unworthy. But I say weakness is the doorway for my glory to shine through you. Behold what it means to be mine. There is an authority stirring in your spirit, a call to rise, not in striving, but in surrender. Give me your yes again and again, every time fear tries to reclaim your heart. Do you feel the invitation stretching before you? I am not just restoring what was lost. I am commissioning you to go and release hope to others who hunger for relief. The places you thought were wastelands are now birthplaces for compassion, understanding, and supernatural courage. You will look back on this moment and realize it was the turning point. Your old identity, the labels imposed by pain or failure, are shattering. Step into this newness. Speak it now with certainty. I am no longer a victim. I am a vessel of light. Pause now and sense my arms around you. The atmosphere changes when you let my presence permeate your doubt. It is not your effort sustaining you, but my relentless devotion. You have not come this far to be abandoned. As you inhale my peace, layers of regret and self-condemnation fall away. Every day from this moment carries the potential for miracles, not always as you imagined, but always as I ordained. Your breakthrough is not an isolated event. It is a daily unfolding of unity with me. I anchor your hope, and nothing can uproot what I have planted. Rise, precious one, knowing your legacy begins here and now, not in some distant future. Today I mark your mind with clarity. I strip confusion, gifting you a new lens to see yourself and your circumstances. Watch as decisions that once paralyzed you become opportunities for me to show up strong on your behalf. Your faith, even when trembling, is enough. I make up the difference. When self-doubt returns, remember my voice drowns out the accuser. Let gratitude well up no matter how fragile. Give thanks for the unseen victories unfolding behind the curtain. Speak truth aloud over your future. Let every cell recall, I am loved. I am covered. I am called. Say it now out loud, and then send this message or share these words with one person who needs to hear them today. This encounter is not the end. It is the inception. What I started in you will not stop here. Every morning, look for the small sacred signals of my attention. Sunlight on skin, the kindness of a stranger, a laugh that breaks the silence. These are my reminders that I am closer than your next breath.